Yo, family, what's up? This is your boy Thomas coming from NYC, not the DMV today. Look, if you hear my voice, like and share this season finale. It's a brand new day, a brand new minute to let's close out season one of Move Mountains, Break Barriers. Let's go. Yo, what's going on? This is your homeboy, your country boy, your boy all around. This is Thomas Davis. I am so excited to be here with you all on tonight. Thank you so much for joining in with me. Also, thank you so much for watching season one. Can you believe that we've gone through 10 episodes? Wow, has time has really flown by. But guess what? Don't worry, because we're coming back for season two, bigger, better, and stronger than what I was before. I appreciate each and every one of you all for joining in. I appreciate you all for chiming in, listening in, blowing up the chat, liking and sharing, inviting your friends, your coworkers, everyone to watch us. Because again, as I said, when we started the first show, this show is this simply designed to bring awareness, to bring support, and to let someone listening know that you are not in this alone and that we are here to strive and encourage you, support you, and lastly, let you know that all of your possibilities are what? Limitless. Again, thank you so much for watching Move Mountains and Break Barriers. But before I move forward, I'm doing a little bit of different things tonight. First thing I would like to do is bring on right quick my lovely producer who makes all of this work. If it was not for this young lady and her team, I would not be as great as I am. And she is a great lady. She's a great woman. She's a woman of God. She believes in pouring into small businesses. And if anyone is watching this evening and you would love to get your business started, you would love to get your promotion activities, materials out, hit her up. She is dope. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So without further ado, I would love to bring with me on right quick Miss Jasmine from Project. What's up, Miss Jasmine?
Hi there. Thank you, Thomas, for having
No,
me.
thank you so much. I want you to just tell the people who you are, what you do, so people can sew into you like you sew into me.
Oh, I appreciate that. My name is Jasmine Smith, owner of Project Smith Designs, located out here on the west coast of California. And I just love walking beside business owners to manifest whatever their vision is here through social media, web and graphic design, and media services. So appreciate your support and look forward to connecting with many of you out there.
Yes, check her out. Check her out. She didn't know that I was going to do all of this, but I had to bring her forward because part of me being who I am is helping other people. And she is helping me, and I want to sow back into her by giving her as many people who are hungry to grow your business and bring things to light. And this young lady and her team is dynamic. So thank you so much, Miss Jasmine.
Thank you. You guys have a
Can
great show.
you drop how they can find you and all that great
Oh, yeah,
stuff in
yeah,
the
yeah.
chat?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
absolutely. I'll post it
Thank
there.
you. Thank you so much. All right, so again, I am in New York City, aka I'm located in Queens, New York. I have had an amazing time here, and I wanted to make sure that I uphold my responsibilities by being here. All right, James, right? Danville is the country. I'm a country boy. I love it. Hey, Mom, good evening. She's watching from Eden, North Carolina. Wish she was here. But I came up for a fraternal event. And from that point, I decided to stay over for a few days just to get some R&R, relax, refuel, rejuvenate, and wrap up this book, this workbook that will be coming out as promised when the pieces of the puzzle come together. So be on the lookout. It is going to be done. And I just wanted to say to my guests, I'm going to pause and just say thank you again so much for being a watcher, a supporter. Everything that you do is amazing, and I truly, humbly appreciate each and every one of you. But guess what? April is a lot of things, y'all. April is Autism Awareness Month. We want to shout out our amazing people. Keep dreaming big. Keep doing what you're doing. And we want you to continue to grow and explore and use those minds. And also, we know that this month is also where we really pay attention to abuse, to neglect. And we want to just make sure that we are bringing awareness to each and every one of you all to know that you do not have to suffer in silence. As my great friend Marty says, never suffer in silence. Speak up, speak out, and as he always says, live. Because I know he's going to chime in and say something about that. But look, before we move any further, I want to just really talk about season one and the series that we've had. The series was focusing on our youth. And I felt no other way to end this, considering that we are in the month of April, where emphasis is placed on our youth. Shout out to our admin, because this is also Appreciation Month for our leaders in our schools. April is just a great celebratory month. But I wanted to come in and bring the panelists back so they could share out and close out and share with you. You're going to hear a lot of great discussions tonight. We're going to leave you with some food for thought. We want you to blow the chat up, give us feedback, chime in with us, because we want to connect. Move mountains, break barriers. It's about connections. But before I do this, in preparing for this show, there was an article that I read, and it was dated on March the 9th, 2021. And it was in accordance to the DC Policy Center. And I'm going to give y'all some stats so we can go right into this show. Even before the pandemic, a large share of district children, talking about Washington, D.C., and age up from age 1 to 3 and 1 to 17 has been exposed to traumatic events with the potential to impact their mental health. 23%, y'all, have been exposed to one adverse child experience, better known as ACE, ACE, and 21% has been exposed to either 2 or more traumatic events. ACE, this is adverse childhood experience, things that happen beyond their control that causes one to have some emotions, some traumas, and some anxieties behind that particular situation or encounter. But guess what? Latino children represent 17%, and African Americans represents 39%. Living through COVID, y'all, is a pandemic that we know that still is present. COVID is still out here, y'all, so please continue to wear your mask. But living through COVID-19 pandemic is a traumatic experience itself, but it also put our youth and young adults in that adverse child exposure. It puts them in the position to where their experiences are going unnoticed. Why is that? Because they are not in the school. The teacher that they was cool with, that person that would check on them, is no longer able to see them. And it's also increasing the anxiety and depression. And it's not only in the low socioeconomic status family, it is in everybody's lives. So I want to make sure that we are making this known that we need to step outside of ourselves and we need to focus on our youth. We need to focus on our parents. We need to focus on ourselves. Lastly, we need to focus on each other because, truth be told, all of us are going through something. All of us are going through something. We're going to like and share this broadcast. We're going to have a great discussion tonight. And I just want to say again, thank you so much. But let's jump right into this discussion. Our youth is something that means a lot to me. And why it means a lot to me is that if someone was not there for me when I didn't believe in myself, I would not be sitting here on this platform. Just to be very honest and transparent. If someone didn't push me to step outside of my mountains and my barriers, which was and is my speech impediment, I would not be sitting on this platform. So the question that I want to start with tonight for us to think about is, what are you doing to empower someone that is next to you? And the second question that I want to ask is, are you able to lean into that conversation? Or are you leaning out where you do not want to be heard, or you think because what you say go? But guess what, y'all? Our youth can teach us, can teach a 41-year-old man something that I don't know. So I want to bring on our guests to just really chime in and let us know that we got to learn how to be there for each other. We have to learn how to be there for ourselves. But before we do all of that, we got to do a mental check. We need to make sure that we are able to be present. We have to make sure that we are available. And lastly, we got to make sure that we can be emotionally attached to that person, to that situation, and encourage them to keep moving forward. And on the flip side of that, we also have to be encouraged, right? We also have to refuel ourselves. We also have to be making sure that we are doing everything it is that we should be doing. Got it? James Wright said something in the comment. Thomas, silly people think Ace is not getting the right tennis shoes or being invited to a birthday party. So we're gonna put this acronym back up, Miss Jasmine, so we can understand what ACE is. ACE is adverse childhood experience. ACE, adverse childhood experience. Sometimes our youth and our young adults, they go through traumatic experiences that they never speak a word about. And sometimes they don't speak a word about it because they don't have that safe space or that safe atmosphere to speak it out. Because, sometimes I want to tell my dad, Dad, something happened to me, but I don't want to get no one in trouble. So what do? We hold it inside. We act it out. We model the aggression because someone was aggressive to us. But we thinking that, oh, that child is just bad. Oh, that child is horrible. No, that child is not horrible. 2021, no, that adult is not horrible. Because just like we talking about our youth tonight, there are some adults that are in that same situation. They've been in the house with their loved ones, their partners, their person on the side that they thought was the person on the side, but their person on the side is acting like they are the main one when you are not focusing on your real one. I'm gonna leave that one alone, y'all, because y'all can start logging off. I ain't stepping into nobody's house, but I'm just trying to make a point. The point that I'm trying to make is everyone is going through stuff. And James Wright, thank you so much for saying that, because we got to understand that we got to get our minds outside of what we see, but also get our minds wrapped around what is around us and become visible and encouraging to that next person. All right, it's not my soapbox, but I just want to make sure that we are setting the atmosphere for my dynamic panel. Now, I do have to say, we're going to try to get through this in an hour, but we have people that have poured out. I have received so many emails and text messages from everyone that is on this show tonight. And I cannot do this. And I would not sit here in New York City and say this was all Tom was doing. These guests have a great mind. They are willing to roll up their sleeves. They are willing to connect with you offset. So when you see their social media handles, like it, add them, communicate with them, communicate with all of us, because this is what this show is about, to move your mountain and let's break those barriers. So without further ado, I would like to bring on my first guest. Yes, Danville is in the house. I'm a Danville, Virginia native. So my family raised me right. Happy birthday, Aunt Bernice. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Toretta, thank you so much for saying congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for all of your great words. But considering that I was raised right, we was always taught ladies first. So let's start with our young ladies. So we're going to bring on to the show, as I call her, our poetic justice lady, Miss Shaditra. She's going to come in and she's going to tell you again who she is, and we're going to go from there. All right, without further ado, let's bring on Miss Shaditra. What's up? What's the word for the night, Miss Shaditra? What's the word for the night?
Hey Thomas, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you been, love? How you been?
I can't complain. Beautiful weather here.
Yo, I'm almost in your stomping grounds this weekend,
You
and
are.
I'm loving it.
You are.
NY, y'all see the back? This is not a wallpaper, y'all. This is the real. That's a real building, y'all. It's a real building. But no, all jokes aside, though, how are you doing on this lovely Sunday?
Doing great. Doing great this lovely Sunday. Thank you for having me back. I'm looking forward to helping you close out the series on Lens from Our Youth. And it's just been a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for having me.
Yo, haven't it been wonderful? Like everyone has been dynamic. It's
Yes.
been dynamic. All right, let's bring on our other young lady, Miss Jasmine. She's about to come on here and give us her spin on things as well. Miss Jasmine.
Hey guys,
Hey y'all. What's up, Miss Jazz? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm excited, y'all. Y'all, I have so much energy. I'm over here sweating because I'm excited, because my mind is going everywhere. I'm just excited. We made it, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
But
you
you okay?
for letting me be a part of this. Thank
How you
you.
doing, Miss Jasmine? You is looking nice over there tonight. Both of y'all looking good. Look at y'all.
Thank you. You know we try.
That's how we close out the show. I should have put on a shirt and tie like Dr. Tank. But you know,
I'm loving the pink and green. Pink and green. Thank you.
hey. All right, y'all. Let's break on Dr. Tank. What's up, Dr. T?
Going on? Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to bring me up here. For those who don't know, my name is Dr. Emmanuel Trillian, aka Dr. Tank. That name comes from my company that I founded, Tank Educates LLC, where we focus on dismantling the school to prison pipeline. I work with teachers, administrators on the school end, and then I'm on the back end as well, working with the state of New Jersey as ex-offenders are released. I help them with life skills so they don't return back to prison. Pleasure being on the show again.
Thank you so much, Dr. T. Dr. Tank, thank you so much. I'm gonna not call you Dr. T, Dr. Tank. I apologize.
It's fine, brother. It's fine.
All right. In the spirit of transparency, as you've seen the flyer being promoted, there was a young man by the name of Mr. Tamir Harper who was supposed to be on the show tonight, but I'm going to give him a pass, and I'm going to explain why I'm giving him a pass tonight. Number one, he's traveling, so he's stuck in traffic. He was in New York City this weekend, and he is now our Eastern regional assistant vice president for the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. So
that's
I'm
huge.
proud of him.
Yeah.
Proud of him. He definitely wanted to be on. I said, Tamir, I know that you're tired and you're traveling and it's in the rain. The first thing that I want you to do is to get safe. Be safe. If you can join in, you can join in. If not, I totally understand. So, and I bring this up not as a advertisement for him, but because I wanted to use this as a point number one. When you put your mind to something, you can do it. When the odds are against you, when people are naysayers, when you sometimes feel like you don't see it yourself, you need someone to say, hey, keep pushing, keep pushing. And he has a village, and he will continue to have that village that will continue to let his light shine. And that's what I want to say to my youth, to my families, to our visitors that are watching tonight. Never allow a temporary setback keep you from being and going where you can go. Because I watched the church service, y'all, this morning, and this pastor said today, it is time to take a step and step outside of your comfort zone. And I want to share to the people that are watching us tonight, never allow yourself to be held back when you see something that is in front of you. You got to go for it. You got to get uncomfortable. But before you do all of that, you got to say, I can do this. Thomas, I can have a live show. Thomas, you're not going to allow your stuttering to keep you from moving forward. Thomas, be who you are. At the end of the day, people are going to like you or not, but that does not determine who I am and where I'm going. Because I promise y'all, we are all going somewhere together. But the thing that I had to do, and this is question number one, I had to change my mindset, y'all. I had to change my environment. One thing that I want you all to pay attention to, and I'm going to talk this thing, panelists, tonight, because I want y'all to give some feedback based off some of these statistics, because some of these stats that I quoted goes back to that adverse childhood experience, better known as ACE. Something that I had to learn, Dr. T and Shaditra and Jasmine, was that everyone is not happy for you. Imagine our youth and young adults that put on those clothes that they know that they could wear, that they have, and they think that they are dope, and they walk outside of their crib, and then they walk into that building, and someone just shoots them down. And it's not the ones that you think they don't like you. It's the ones that dap you up. Yo, what's up? But because I don't have what you have, I'm going to make you look like you're nothing. That can also be an adverse childhood experience, better known as low self-esteem. But I had to go back to my mindset, and that was my point. My mindset has to change. And when my mindset changed, my responses change, my behavior changes, my whole atmosphere changes, and the doors and the windows of opportunities open up. So the first question is to Miss Shaditra is this. What does mindset mean to you? And the second part of that is, what is your current mindset?
Great question. And I hope you all can hear me. It's raining pretty hard here, so I apologize for hearing that rain outside my window. But as far as mindset, I've been in the growth mindset. My mindset is that of development.
Right.
Making sure that no one is going to change what my thought process is or my abilities. I'm always looking to continue to learn and continue to, make myself better for the next person. So
Right.
that's definitely the mindset that I have. And it's very important to have that. And just like you were talking about individuals having low self-esteem,
Right.
it happens with children, but it happens as an adult too.
Right.
You think you have your good girlfriends, but then they start saying certain things, not to diminish you, but, just nitpicking. That
Right.
then, changes your mindset and starts making you think, well, maybe I'm not that great, or maybe this part of my body isn't, needs to be enhanced. So
Right.
it's definitely something you have to think about, but you have to have a strong mindset in order to overcome it.
All right. So while I have you on, I want to go back to this percentage right here. And it says, listen to this. Latino children and youth, 17% of students have been exposed to adverse childhood experiences, better known as ACE, compared to 59% of Black students and 39% of Latino students. What this study revealed, Shaditra, was that they was in environments and in friendships that was not conducive to who they were. And it says once the students realized that they needed to go to therapy, mindset, make some adjustments, which is what I said, mindsets, that percentage went down from overall being 17% down to 8%. And it goes back to our mindsets. So what would you like to share about that?
Right. And it goes about acceptance.
Right.
Just like you were talking about what you wear, when you go in someplace, you can have 100 people tell you, you fly, you
Right.
look great. But that one person give you, something that doesn't sit well with you.
Right.
And you start thinking, well, what dag, how did that happen? But as
Right.
far as the statistics that you're talking about, it still
Right.
leads back to acceptance.
Right.
Everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to be a part of a family. And so that's why it's so key to start talking to our children young and
Right.
talking to them about self-affirmation so that they know who they are and start building their own self-identity and their own characteristics. That's where that comes into place. But, we have to then take it back to some of the parents. The parents are broken as well and don't, and they're dealing with brokenness.
Yes.
So truly a cycle that needs to be broken. And you and I know when I've been out in the community doing therapy, I don't just focus on the child, I focus on the family because
Yes.
I'm only there once a week for an hour, but they're there with their family, their father, their mother, their sister, their brother.
Yes.
24 hours a day. So it truly is a holistic light that we need to start looking at to truly break the cycle.
Let me tell y'all something. See, when you do things right, it all connects. Because I'm going to Dr. Tank next. And the question that I'm going to ask him is the same. How do you define mindsets and what is your current mindset? Dr. Tank is a family man. He's a husband. He's a father. But I want to read something that is right here. And it says, listen to this, y'all. Other children are suffering from the effects of compromised parenting by the pandemic. Mindset. The mind is cloudy. The pandemic is before us. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get this child to log into Zoom? I don't know how to use a computer. These are all different events that takes place. But listen to this. According to the Household Pulse survey, 31.4% of adults in Washington, D.C. reported symptoms of anxiety and depression in April, compared to 4.6% in early November. High anxiety and depression symptoms were among parents that is correlated highly with lack of resources, lack of knowledge, lack of availability, and lack of time as a person who is an adult. So with that in mind, Dr. Tank, how is your mindset? And what would you want to add to this right here to let a parent that's watching us know that we got to figure out what's going to be the best thing for us as the adults, and how can we do what we do to provide for our kids?
Great question. The way I see mindset, it's your view of the world, it's your perspective, is how you see the world. And so it is shaped by the environment that you're in. If you look at this picture, a lot of these things are systemic. It wasn't like these kids created these options.
Right.
These options were there before they were born. And so they're put into these systemic traps, and then they're trying to figure out how to get out. So my mindset, it's my slogan, and you all know it, dream with your eyes open. And what that's basically saying is that sometimes you can't go by what you see. You got to think beyond what you see.
Yes.
In these environments, this is not the reality. This is not it. So how can I get you to imagine, to think beyond what you see every day and what you hear in these statistics? And so once I can get you to dream with your eyes open, you can now tap into a reality that's not physically in front of you.
Wow.
So that's the mindset that I use.
Dr. Tate, thank you so much. Miss Jasmine Norris, when I tell you I thought about everyone that was going to be on this show tonight, I looked at your profession. I looked at what you all do outside of the camera. I watch what you all are doing in front of the camera, and I watch how you live and walk your lives. But you are an educator. And when I'm about to read this, I want you to respond to this question, and which is the same question about mindsets, right? In Washington, D.C. alone, reports of child abuse between mid-March and April of 2021 were 62% higher than the school year last year.
Wow.
School closures also contribute to the underreporting. UNDER. Underreporting. So, AKA, that basically means that because we don't see our babies every day, there has been a low number of cases that has been reported of child abuse as educators. Typically, reports of child abuse has been higher in the previous years prior to the pandemic. Miss Jasmine, I just dropped some loaded stuff on you, sweetheart. I'm gonna help you out. Mindsets, educator, you got it.
So mindsets as an educator, I think solely of that fixed mindset, that growth mindset perspective. So like you're either going to have that fixed mindset where you believe that things cannot be altered or changed and you stay in a spot. Or you have that growth mindset where you feel like things can be altered and changed to develop and grow. As an educator, I see both, not only from children, but from families.
Right.
And with this virtual learning, I have kids that I've seen every single day. I've had kids who I haven't seen since November. I've had kids that I haven't seen all year long.
Right.
And definitely the situations and the emotions and the obstacles that families are facing right now are out of this world. And many people cannot even imagine the things that kids and families are going through. Especially I deal with families who are in kind of like low income areas. They have multiple children. I've had parents break down because they don't know how to work the computers. I've had parents of multiple children with like disabilities break down because it's just too much. It's a burnout at a certain point because no one ever envisioned that this would be life. And it's like you can look at it two ways. You can look at it with that like growth mindset of, okay, this is how things are right now. Like I gotta push through it. I gotta figure it out. Or you can be like I can't stand where it is. Like I hate it here. This is get better. But ultimately, those mindsets transfer to your child.
Right.
So I have kids who are super excited to be on the computer and with their family, like at home, because their family still presents like, okay, this is how learning is right now. Like it'll not always be this way, but we have to do this right now. And then I have some kids who like hate it because their families hate it. And, you know, like you said, that those compromised emotions within the family, like how am I going to pay my bills? I don't have Wi-Fi. I can't do this. That transfers to the kids. And it's just like I try my best to talk to parents about whatever they need help with. I try to connect them with whatever resources they, because at the end of the day, as adults, it's sad to say like we have to be our best selves, but we can't always be our best selves. But we have to be at a place where we can provide for children, not only our children, but students as well, to be as successful as possible, because those little minds are still being molded.
Right.
Yes. We want to keep as much of a like growth mindset opportunity for them.
Right.
And especially in this situation right now where things are very different. Like they don't like it. Some of them do, but most of them don't. They want to be with their friends. They want to, you know, get out of the house. They're sick of being home. Yes. Just like they're probably sick of them being home. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword right now. But definitely being an educator, I see a lot of things. You hear a lot of things when people forget they're off mute. And it's just like, darn, like I wish I was at school to hug or to give you a pat on the back, because what I just heard, if you're getting this 24 hours a day, I can't imagine what's going on in your mind. Like, I see why you come to class frustrated, but
Right.
also what's going on in that parent's mind that's
Right.
causing them to respond like that.
Listen, thank you so much for sharing. That was powerful. Powerful. Let me tell you something. As an administrator, there's been a lot of Zoom blooms that I call them that pops up in a day. From dress code down to language, you name it, it has happened. But there was a question that popped up from Mr. James Wright, and I want to read the question, and then I want to ask Shaditra and Dr. Tank to help me out on this one. And it says this as follows: But doesn't trauma and adversity strengthen children? That is what I was told as a child, to suck it up. So I'm gonna read the question again, then I'm gonna ask Dr. Tank to go, then Shaditra to go, then I'm gonna chime in as well. But doesn't trauma and adversity strengthen children? That was what I was told growing up as a child, to basically suck it up. Great question, James.
That is a great question. If I could be honest, it can help some kids, but I think that's the problem, James. I think, especially with our boys, we were never taught to deal with trauma and adversity, and we were told to ignore them and just suck it up and be tough and be strong. And by not dealing with those issues, they appear back when we get adults and we become older, and we're dealing with social emotional learning, as someone pointed out earlier. So my thing is, I think some kids can benefit off of that, but for me, most kids need to deal with that. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in our community, is that we do not deal with the trauma and adversity. Like, therapy is considered weak.
Right.
And getting counseling, that's considered weak. And so I think we need to reverse that narrative in our communities, because I think it's strong to be able to say, I'm dealing with something and I need help.
Right. Great. Thank you so much. Shaditra?
I agree with Dr. Tank, what he just said, leaving off. And that's one of the points I wanted to talk about tonight as well. We need to start normalizing that we need to talk about things, talk through things.
Yes.
And that goes back to those old traumas that older adults had, then they have children, and then they put it on their kids, and it just continues to be a cycle. We need to break that. We need to normalize that you need to talk to individuals, male and female, and especially our boys, because they're the ones that are suffering the most. And then we expect for them to go out and be husbands and fathers, and and they've never been whole. So we definitely need to discuss, these traumas. It might work for some, like Dr. Tank said, but it doesn't work for all. And we have to realize that these children grow up to be adults, then they form families. And then the cycle continues, and we're really trying to normalize and break those cycles.
Right.
So trauma is, in my book, definitely needs to stop. Back in the day, like I had said the last time, generations are different. We're in a new generation, and the new generation, we need to start talking through things.
Love it. Thank you so much. Let me give you the DSM-5 definition of trauma. The DSM-5 definition of trauma is an emotional response to an event like an accident, rape, or natural disaster. Immediately after the event, potential shock, denial, and resistance can take place. Flashbacks, for example, can take place. Physical ailments can occur. Separation anxiety, headaches, relationships can be made. So, James, thank you so much for asking that question. I want to bring some, and thank you, Dr. Tank and Shaditra, for saying what you said, because that was what I was going to say. What I also want to add on to that question is, we have to stop treating, and this is to my therapists and my social workers and my educators that are watching, we have to stop treating every person alike. Everyone does not require that same treatment modality. Let me make it plainer for my viewing audience. The way I talk to Shaditra is not the way that I'm going to interact with Jasmine. The way I interact with Jasmine is not going to be the way that I interact with Dr. Tank. We got to stop looking for the quick way out, but try to find what works. And finding what works for us in 2021 is talking it out. One of the things that I'm doing in season 2 is I'm going to have my men of all colors, all walks of life come onto this show, and it gives some visibility and how talking things out kept them from doing something that they should have not done. Because I do think growing up, because I can say, James, the same thing for me, and my mom is watching and she'll chime in. Sometimes that do as I say, not do what I say. Sometimes that doesn't work because what was said in 1960 may not be relevant in 2020. And one thing I am honored to say that with my family and more specifically my mother, we had that safe space that we could, go back and forth to a certain extent. Yes, mom, I'm teetering the fence a little bit, but I was able to share my thoughts on it. It may not necessarily mean that she's going to go along with what I'm saying, but she allowed me that space to run it out. Because if we don't run things out, we keep it in. And then our behaviors start to show, right? Our behaviors start to come out. And what we as men, especially to my men that are watching tonight, our action says a lot more than what we know. We think that we buff and tough, but behind that onion, once we peel all those layers out, y'all know the rest. Thank you, James Wright. So there's another question that came in from Mr. Kenner. And Mr. Kenner says, question for the educator, Miss Jasmine Norris. What would you recommend for parents to have their child? Would you recommend for parents to have their child repeat the grade post-COVID? Ooh.
Yes. Yes. If your child, I feel like as a educator, I have seen, especially when COVID first hit and school closed, they weren't retaining anyone. But there were already some students who needed to be retained who kind of like just, skated through, which I think is creating a situation for disaster because you're being moved to a level that you're not prepared for.
Right.
And if everything, at the end of the day, if everything, interventions, referrals, and everything have been done and it's still not working, I would say yes. I would say also it depends on the situation. For like kids who I haven't seen all year, I definitely think that they should repeat the grade because you have gotten no instruction all year long. Right. But if there's a child who is like on the cusp, who is having like a little bit of issues, I would say like no, because there's always intervention. If intervention doesn't work, there's also always referral. I think that also like the stigma around like special education is like needs to be broken down as well because special education is not a lifelong thing. It's a support and support to be taken away at a certain level. So it's not bad if your child needs to be referred to special education services. We all don't learn the same. Just like you said, you can't come to the same people with the same type of strategies. That doesn't work for everybody. Someone may need a little extra help. But I think if your child has not been in school all year long and they have not been in school all year long, they need to just repeat the grade.
Good. Yo, y'all are blowing this chat up, and I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh my goodness, how are we gonna get through this? But Pamela Brown said something, and she said that it emotionally stunts children. And then there was another comment that's from Carol McLaughlin said, so true, great light being shed on this evening. But I want to also talk about us being who we are, right? Because we are young people. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Y'all see this gray hair, but I still have a lot of youth in me. But it's about our mindsets. It's about believing in yourself. It's about being positive. And lastly, it's about enjoying life. And I'm going to provide a visual for you. When we change our mindsets, people, we are going to begin to believe that I can do it all, right? No matter what someone says, I got this. Once we begin to believe in ourselves, then the next transition is that we're going to become positive about things. And we're not going to let the negativity and the haters and the people stunt us from doing what we can do. And lastly, once we are positive, we can do something that many people and including myself at times, had to learn to do, which was enjoy life. Change your mindsets, be positive, enjoy life. So, my next question to the panel is simply this: why must you believe in you first? And how do you keep moving forward when many people don't believe in you? Let's start with Shaditra.
Well, I believe in myself because of my faith. I was raised that way, to believe in myself, to never give up, and to always just keep striving for the best. So my mindset has always been to believe in myself. I've had wonderful supports from my family, but I've always just been that person to believe in myself and just always striving to get to the next level. And it's never to be in competition with anybody because, like you said, we're young, but my
Yeah.
had that old school. And I remember my mother telling me, don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses. And here I go, got neighbors 2 doors down. And I'm like, the Joneses down the street. But I understood, from that lesson, it really
Right.
made me say, don't try to be in competition with anyone else. Just
Right.
be you. And who
Right.
you are is, the best person running.
Right.
You are the best person to be you. Don't
Yes.
try to look to anybody else to validate you. That goes back to what I said several other podcasts. We can't look to other people to validate us. We have to validate ourselves. So those self affirmations, having positive people around you, people who are about their own business, because you about your business, so you want to be around people about their business, and definitely just being present. That's another thing I'm trying to make sure that I do in my life: be present for my friends when I'm
Right.
talking with them. Be present, listen to them, and see what's going on, so that I can be a benefit to them as well as they to myself. But I'm still my number one believer.
Right. That's a great look. That's good. I just recently designed a shirt that says "Prove yourself right," and that goes to what you just said, Miss Robinson. You gotta believe it for yourself. You gotta prove yourself right. And if you don't prove yourself right, why would I want to reach out to a Thomas that is not confident in himself? I have to learn how to affirm me before I even step out to try to do any of this that you see here. So thank you so much, Shaditra. Thank you so much. All right, Jasmine, talk to us. Talk to us.
So you have to believe in yourself first, because personally, from I was kind of all I had. My dad was deployed when I was growing up, so he missed a lot of my life. So it was me. And that, growing up in Anacostia, I had a lot of exterior things that could have gotten a hold of me. But my interior, like my belief in myself and the things that I wanted to do within me, was what really drove me to be successful and to pass all of those things and be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. This is where I want to go, and this is where I'm going. And I know that I can do it if I believe in myself. And like you just said, if you don't believe in yourself and you're trying to sell yourself to somebody else, why should they believe in you? How is somebody else going to believe in you and what you're doing? Or how are you going to give someone some advice when they know that you don't believe that about yourself?
Right.
And I think keeping moving forward when many people don't believe you, I think you have to live like life, as bad as it may seem. You have to live life like it's just you. Like people join in and they accept you and they, cheer you on. Awesome. But at times you're going to look around and there's going to be no one there but you and God.
Right.
You have to be okay with knowing where you want to go and potentially going there by yourself to be happy. Like, you don't need a crowd around you. You have to find that within yourself to understand you don't need a crowd around you or people patting you on the back to get to where you want to go, when ultimately that is your goal, to be happy.
Right.
That's
Thank
kind
you.
of how I see it.
Love it. Love it. There's a comment in the chat from Miss Pamela Brown, and she says, you believe what you tell yourself. You will move in life in the manner that you believe. You believe what you tell yourself. So let's do this affirmation. I got this. Today will be a good day. You will move in life in the manner that you believe. Instead of me going to the club when I know that I got to write this workbook while I'm in NYC, when I get off this show, I got to get to work. So when it joins together, thank you so much, Miss Pamela. Thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Tank, I want to ask you this question, and it's a different question.
Mhm.
And the thing that I thought about, and again, shout out to you again for posting this image. Posting this image because iron sharpened iron. You didn't even realize that this was going to get a whole 3-part discussion.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
the reason why I found this to be so important is that, and if you notice, tonight's has been on the affirmative side because our youth are already dealing with the oppressions. They're dealing with racism. They're dealing with injustices. They're dealing with self-esteem issues. So I wanted to close season 1 out with how can we enjoy this thing called life? Because life has its bumps and blows. Life would be here today, and life would go out of here in a second. And if we have not learned anything, we have to learn how to enjoy this journey that we're on. Life is important. Life is not always about having fun. Life is also about us getting our goals accomplished. Graduating from high school, youngsters, getting those grades in virtual classes, youth, logging into class so you don't get no attendance call and having child protective services at your door because you want to lay in the bed and not log into class. But how do we continue to enjoy this thing called life?
Listen, for me, first of all, I'll make a correction. That's Dr. Pamela Brown. That's
All right.
there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But what I'll say is this: for me, life is like a book.
Mm-hmm.
Life is like a book, and what I tell young people all the time: take the pencil away from people and
Right.
allowing people to write your own story. You take the pencil back and you write your story, and you have the ability to change chapters in the future.
Right.
You probably can't change what you read already, but the chapters that are ahead of you, you have ability, if you make the right decisions, to change how the narrative ends. And so one thing that I think we struggle with, especially as African American men, is asking someone for help.
Yes.
I think it's considered weak. It's considered soft when you ask another person to help you. But what I will tell you, if you want to enjoy this thing called life, find someone that's living the life that you want to live.
Yes.
And then be brave enough to ask that person to mentor you. They're already living where you want to go. They're going to tell you, they're going to cut corners and make you not waste as much time as they did. So find a mentor and take the pencil back so you can write and change your narrative and so the story can end the way you want it to end.
Love it. Love it. Shaditra, talk to us.
Dr. Tank, I appreciate you saying that because I have been thinking about that. We have so many resources that we can provide to our children. And when you think about it, it's like, why are they not taking advantage of those resources? And I truly believe it's because they don't feel comfortable and confident enough. And that's just not boys, but it's girls too, our young women. We can talk about all the resources that we want, but if they don't feel comfortable and confident to do it, then they're not going to take those, take the opportunity to find that mentor. So I think that's, another layer we need to start discussing. How do we get our children to feel comfortable and confident, and trust? Because it's really about trust. Trusting those older adults that truly want to genuinely work with them, because I'm pretty sure they've run into so many obstacles and their trust is just out the window. So that's one thing I want to start talking about and normalizing. But definitely I agree. Mentors, when you see someone, talking to a youth, they see someone living the life that they want to live, definitely, reach out, but we have to really get them to feel comfortable and confident enough and be personable so that they can come to us and trust. to
Right.
teach them the way and guide them the right way properly. And, just me, I'm going to throw in there being a Christian, sometimes people put on these facades, but we really have to step up and, show out for our youth, definitely
Yes.
our African American children.
Yes. Thank you so much. And if I could add a word to what you just said, Ms. Robinson, acceptance. We have to start with accepting the things that we cannot change. And it goes to a comment. I see you, Teresa. I thank you all. Hallelujah. There is a comment from Jerome Kenner that goes to what you just said. Facts. Don't punish yourself for past decisions. People, let's stop holding on to things that has happened to us 10 years ago. Today is a new day. You may be the gossip today, but tomorrow there will be a new topic. Press on, young people. Wow. We're going to make that into a post on social media, Mr. Kenneth. So don't even worry about that, because I think sometimes we got to speak things into existence. Then there was another comment that we saw earlier, from Mr. Montgomery. He says building positive relationships. When you have people that are connected with you that see potential when you don't see it, that is key, y'all. That's key. Jasmine, talk to us, sweetheart.
So I think that just continuing to enjoy life, like Dr. Tank and Shaditra, and you said it, all as well as that comment, definitely. Forget about what happened yesterday. Tomorrow's a new day. Take advantage of it. But I also think that enjoying life goes to being happy within you and who you are. Getting to know yourself and getting to love yourself first. Because if you spend your days worrying about what you don't have, or how other people feel about you, or how life is telling you, or like what social media is telling you life looks like and happiness looks like, and the things you should have by now, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be able to enjoy your life, because it's going to go past you, because you're not living it. You're just dwelling in what you don't have. So I think just being happy within yourself and what you do have, and whatever journeys that you want to take. Be you. Be happy in whatever you feel, whatever your hobby is, whatever your goal is, whatever your idea is, go forward. Don't worry about what anybody else is saying in the background, because like you said, everyone is not going to be happy for you. And if you live your life, or try to live your life waiting for everybody to be happy for you, you're never going to, life is just literally going to pass you.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. I'm going to miss y'all, but we're about to wrap up. But before we do me a favor to my viewing audience. There's going to be a link that's going to be dropped in the chat. I personally want you to take time, just like 3 or 4 questions. Give me feedback, because as I'm taking some time off to brand and other things, I want to make sure that what you are saying, I'm capturing it. Miss Jasmine is capturing it. So when we come back for season 2, which is going to be sooner than you think, we want to hear, when we want to bring you guys on the show. So please take some time to complete the survey. Shaditra, Jasmine, and Dr. Tank, before we go, I want you guys to leave your final words with the listening audience, whatever that is on your heart and spirit to say to the people that are watching us on tonight. I thank you all again for closing out with me, and I want to give you all the platform to close out however way that you so choose. Thank you for being on the show, and while you all are speaking, we're going to be showing how they can follow you, okay? All right, Shaditra.
Yes. Well, thank you, Thomas, once again for this wonderful platform that you provided us with for this whole entire season. And, truly the picture that was displayed about our youth, because the youth are our future. And so I truly want to leave our youth with male and female, leave them with positive affirmations, find something that speaks to your heart. And even if you just have to read that every day, when you wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, just make that your foundation so that you can become the person that you dream with your eyes open to be, like Dr. Tank says. So thank you so much, Thomas. And I appreciate everybody on this panel. I enjoy working and talking with you throughout the season, and look forward to being back on next season.
Yes, ma'am. You are coming back. Jasmine, talk to us, love.
Thank you, Thomas, for having me on here, sharing your platform. for such amazing discussions. I think my one thing I want to say is just do more of what makes you happy and what makes you feel fulfilled. Like, don't let society, social media, family, nothing on the outside looking in dictate what is supposed to make you happy. Live your life for you, because that is who is living it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everybody on the panel. Thank you to everybody who's rocked out with you for season 1 in the comments, watching. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to everyone that has sat on the panel and that has commented. Thank you all. Everyone has brought their own flavor. It's been unfiltered. It has not been scripted outside of what happens here and there. Other than that, it has been open discussion. Dr. Tank, take us home, brother.
Yeah, I would say, listen, do not underestimate the power of speaking things into existence. That will change things that you can't see, and it'll make it come into a reality. And I don't want to, if there's any young person listening, I don't want to underestimate that picture. I don't want to make it seem like just change your mindset, you'll be okay. I'm going to tell you, reach out to a mentor. There's Boys and Girls Club. There's fraternity and sororities. There's the people that's on this panel. Reach out to us, but find someone you can trust. I know some adults have hurt you, and that's the reason why you don't trust adults anymore. But I'm telling you, there are good people still out there. Give us a chance. And if you want to reach out to this panel, we are open to help you. But find a mentor. You have to find someone living the life that you want to live if you want to have change in your life. It's been a pleasure, Thomas, and thank you for the invitation.
Well, you know, Dr. Tank, I ain't too far from you, so rest up. Tomorrow, you already know. We already had that discussion. All right, quick Thomas bar as we wrap up. Yo, thank you, Miss Jasmine. Again, hit up Project Smith. She got your needs. Yo, mic check 1 2 1 2. I have to say before I end this platform on season 1, lastly, thank you so much. It is humbling, it is wonderful, and it is encouraging to see each and every one of you all on tonight. Remember this: love yourself, love each other, let that stuff go, let it all go. Move forward. It is April, y'all. Spring, April showers bring May flowers. When we come back in May, possibly, what flowers are you going to bring and share with me? I want each and every one of you guys to take some time to reflect, to reset, to refuel, and lastly, to rearrange. Reflect on some things that you need to reflect upon. Refuel yourselves by just taking some time to just stop the action. Hence, which is why I am in NYC, just to take some time. While I'm here, I'm reflecting, I'm refueling, I'm coming up with the plan. I am letting things go. What are you going to let go? Who are you going to let go? And how are you going to get there? Continue to affirm yourself, continue to believe in yourself. To my dynamic youth and young adults, I love each and every one of you guys. If you ever need something, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. You can send an email to my website. Please do not suffer alone. I promise you, anyone who knows Thomas know that I am here for you. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on social media. Send me a direct inbox when so that you know when you send a message, it comes directly to me, the owner. Just know that this is a safe space. It's a safe place. And I want you to know that all of your possibilities are limitless. Stay safe. Continue to wear a mask. Continue to wear a mask. COVID is still alive, people. COVID is still alive. Please continue to wear a mask, stay safe, level up. I'm excited about my future. I'm excited about your future. And lastly, I am excited about season 2. Follow me, and you will know when we're going to come back. I love you all. Stay safe and have a great Sunday evening on Sunday, April the 11th. This season has been finished and it is completed. Thank you so much, and I love you.